Welcome to the Hampshire 1900 start for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. We're picking up on the 24th of July 1917, which is a couple of months on from the end of the last part. And in this part, I'm going to do something quite radical in the sense that we kind of got a bit of an impasse at the moment where I've got a massive backlog of jobs and I do really need to catch up. So what I'm going to be doing is what you could call a kind of super time-lapse update video where I'm just going to be playing on coming back and giving regular updates about what's going on until we can actually wind up some of these outstanding jobs, especially over in Warstock. If you watch the previous video, you have an understanding of how much work I kind of planned up there and the fact that we've managed to get a traffic jam. So that's going to be the structure for this video, and I'm probably certain that it's probably going to cover at least a year, possibly even more. And apologies that I've got to do this, but otherwise I'm just not going to catch up with what's going on. But first I'm going to do is start with a bit of an update of where we are, because if you watched the previous video, you'll be aware that our farms are kind of become quite important. And what I've done now, you can see we're just starting the harvest here. And we're going to start delivering, see how much we get in the way of crops through this harvest cycle. The other thing we've got now and in Eastleigh is the concrete plant is got all its resources. The only thing it hasn't got actually is a workforce. And you can see here at the moment we're you're just going in and getting some asphalt, which you're probably going to then come out and deliver to here. Are you going to deliver there or are you going to deliver here? No, where are you going? Yep, he's probably going to go here. Because what I really do need to do is get this. No, where are you going then? I'm a bit confused. It says unfinished footpath. Oh, you've run out of gas. Goes without saying, I suppose. Yeah, I need to really get these footpaths built in, and of course they've got to be asphalt footpaths so that they can reach the hub here. Eventually, what I will probably do is asphalt in this footpath as well. So that's the situation here. The other thing that's now started to happen, which is going to be a little bit of a challenge and something I'm going to need to keep an eye on. That's if I come into here. What you'll see now is we've now started to trigger the auto replacement, and I'm aware that you can't really see the text on this, but basically what I'm doing now is I've replaced a couple of heavy steam haulers, a horse-drawn cart, and mainly horse-drawn carts, and our first kind of the small trucks that we bought when we first started back in 1900, and it makes sense because we're now in 1917. But you can see here that because we're not building any vehicles, we're now starting to get this scrapping. But on the good side is that there's probably the fact that, again, if we come back to here, what you will see is that we're not actually paying a scrapping fee, we're just paying a replacement fee. But what's going to happen now, this is going to be a regular drain, but the problem we've got is that I want to replace the wagons over here with kind of more up-to-date modern trucks, because we've got a source of fuel, so we might as well use it. So because if we're using wagons, they will actually be incurring a cost on us, where if we're using fuel, that fuel is effectively free. So what we're going to do is carry on the process here of trying to get a few things going. Looks like we got another new vehicle type here. This is the ammo F-15 prison bus. So we're getting through the full load of ammo vehicles. You see, I've also got my first snowplow here, but I don't really want to. Well, I suppose I could get one now. You can see here that this is the real problem we've got. And the only real solution to this is, one, to get our farm more efficient, and two, to get this construction industry kind of functioning, which is going to be a little bit of a tall order. And this is the primary reason why I'm playing forward. Now, what we do also need to do is start kind of planning a new town over in this area as well. But I really do need to catch up on what I've been doing. Now, the other thing also I want to talk about is the fact that I made a bit of a mistake here. And to try and save some money, what I've done is I've put in an oil fuel storage here, which once we built this road, I'm going to build. And what this is going to be is a little bit of a runoff from the bitumen, which is going out to export. So the idea is going to be is that we'll slowly accumulate some bitumen here. And it means that we'll be able to use tankers to send the bitumen up there to get things going kind of fairly quickly. The other thing also is we've now got this finished, which means we've got the beginnings of some meat storage. But at the moment, I can't see the point of building that until we've got one of these built. I think we're going to get these guys working on this, one of these. Actually, we'll get them working on both, actually. Yeah, the swarm is out operating. And that is basically all that's going on at the moment. I mean, population-wise, we are getting over 21s. And I'd like, if possible, to get more people into here. But the problem's going to be actually getting them in here, because at the moment we're not really operating at kind of full production at the moment. You can see we're getting some production coming in here. We're now starting to get crops being delivered, but you can see it's very, very slow, painful process. And this is one of the problems with a early start. It's just trying to let the game catch itself up. Warstock Construction Office. So we're gonna put you on here as well. Get that built. But I think at the moment we're just going to have to kind of grin and bear it at the moment. Let me just see. My instinct is if I can find the... Yeah. See, if I build another building here, how much wood have I got here? I mean, we've got 20-odd thousand tons. So I think what I am going to do is we're going to try and be a little bit sneaky here, and kind of we're going to sacrifice land. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, I'm going to get in very, very close there, and I think again, we're just going to build up that. Oops, cancel. That's the expensive buildings. So we're just going to put... I want an asphalt footpath here, actually. And we're going to put an asphalt footpath in there. Just check the walking distance. Yeah, we got the walking distance. We're probably going to need to upgrade the footpaths in this area as well. So, in fact, I think what I will do is I'll just sneak you in there and get... I say this is one of the problems with when you've got an early starts, especially when you're down around the 1900s, is just trying to catch up on the sheer amount of workload that goes on. We're going to get the groundworks in there. What have we got here now? Right, we've got an Amoco sewage plant, refrigerated truck. Let me just see what we've got now in the way of options. Come on, guys, don't queue up so much. Right, let's just have a look at what we've got in the way of available vehicles. I'm going to sort by, see, the refrigerated truck again. If I show you here, the Amicos are very, very nice, but they're not really. If I do a search by capacity, you can see this Amico is right down here. So in many ways, the Russo Bolt vehicles are better because they actually carry 2.5 tons. Obviously, we could use a steam-powered one, but that's only 22. This is 31. Now, if we look at snow plows, what we got here is this Amico. Now, this has got a ploughing speed at 30. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in snowplow workshop snowplow. Got this one. I'm gonna. Now, one way you can keep track of out-of-date vehicles is by actually changing the color. I'm gonna flash out 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna start with 4 so that we can maybe keep up the speed here. Somebody stop production. Okay. That's fine. Okay, we've got another new type of vehicle here. Got a Amoco F15 minibus. Don't ever recall having this. And of course, another problem we're going to have is waste. As this town grows, we're going to get more and more waste as well, which is again something else I'm going to have to keep an eye on. Ideally, I would like to put in a incinerator here, but that just keeps adding to the build list, and this is where the problem comes in. I just want to check out this Amico bus. It is definitely a minibus. If I search by capacity, you can see our best bus at the moment is one of these, but my instinct is to got vehicles sat in here. So what I'm going to do now is just give you a quick update. So we're getting through these fields quite quickly, and we are building up quite a lot here. So this big farm is working quite effectively now. You can see it. We are picking out these large fields, and of course we're going to need to spread the fertilizer. So we may get there, but we are building up quite a lot in the way of crops here, and hopefully that will eventually kind of supplant this here, which we will be able to deal with. These didn't actually build, but these big fields are coming up to 100% as well. So eventually one of these is going to finish. So we might get a reasonable harvest from here. Now if we come over to here, you can see here things are, I mean, they're going along quite well. Did I actually flip these guys? No, unload. Oops, forgot to do that. I need to fix this properly. What they're probably doing is filling up this area here. Yep. Yeah, we're going to need to try and make the efficiency. Yeah, you can see the crops are actually piling up in these fields on the 31st of August. That is a potential problem. Yeah, I think we're keeping up with the crop loads here. So that's good. Let me just check here. Okay, is that... We need more workers out here. That's the problem. Anyway, what we're going to do is put this guy on concrete. Just let the bus come in and see how things are. Okay, we got workers there. They're coming out to here. And we got a couple of workers out to here now. Okay. And what we're going to do now is just put these on concrete. I mean, basically, we're just going into repair mode at the moment. What I want to do before I start pushing out anything else here, I need to build all this infrastructure, and you can see we've now built this road here. That's been built through. This is being built. This needs a workforce on it. So we're just gonna. As I say, I want to build all this area here first. So, whoops. And again, it's this micromanagement that can be a little bit of a problem. I'll put you on there. Get the road crew on it. Yeah, that's being built. As I say, until we've built this, we got to leave this temporary road in. We've got this being built. Anyway, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to cut the video here because obviously I'm just repeating myself now. So what I'm going to do is cut the video here, and I'll be back as we run up against December, so I can show you the final results of when we actually get there. And of course, unless something else happens, like an earthquake or something like that. So I'll see you at the next update. Welcome back. We are picking up on the 18th of October 1917, which is a little bit earlier than I originally anticipated, for a reason which I'll explain in a little while. You can see at the moment, if I turn the crop overlay on, you can see that these guys have managed to keep control of all the backlog. And after my mistake over here, I've managed to kind of fix this. We've now got this being picked up by the construction crew, and we're going to build another distribution offices here, so that this one can be dedicated to just shipping the crops to there, because we've now got a fair amount of crops stored in 3 grain silos. Over here, this one is going quite well as well. We've got nearly over 800 tons of crops in here. You can see we are keeping up with what's going on. So the only possible problem is that we have got fertility issues, but we will just have to try and work around those the best we can. In fact, what I'll do is I'll check the fertility once we actually get to the end of the cycle. Now, the reason we're in early is that if I come into here, we've actually finished this as well, so we need to set this up as a distribution office. First things first. What we've now got is a vehicle. Well, the easiest way is to show it to you here. And this is one thing you do need to keep an eye out when you actually come into here. Put the workshop on. Is you're looking for vehicles like this, like the road crane here, because this represents quite a step forward. You can see this is a 12. Now we got, like, even the steam crane here is 8. So you can really speed up your kind of building projects by upgrading these, and that's exactly what I've done here. You can see now we've got another one up over here. We've got a road crane, right? You're doing nothing, right? I'll send you there, and what we're going to do is purchase. Again, keeps flipping back. Buy the road crane. Let's bring that in there. I've got a horse crane here. Of course, what we're going to be doing is scrapping them. So, and just going to send you to there. And of course, we've also got cranes over here, which I'm not sure are being used. Let's see what we got in the way of horse cranes here. Okay, this one can be replaced. And this one as well. And we will purchase the replacements. Because not only will these speed up construction, they will also speed up maintenance as well. So these are certainly worth replacing. I know the vehicles that we've got probably aren't as efficient. That's a cement truck. Don't I have a horse crane in here? We've got a heavy hauler. We've got this little truck here, which probably isn't much use now. We've got one. Let me just check this heavy hauler. We got one for steel. I think what we'll do is we'll get rid of you, and we will put in a road crane in here. That will speed up the process. Now we got horse excavators here and a bulldozer. Probably that guy's actually working on some project, so we'll get in that there. I don't think we've got any cranes over here. Let me just check. We have got one building, one dumper missing here. There we got a 2-horse crane here, which can go as well. And this is one of the kind of the possible tedious aspects of an early start, alongside all the other tedious aspects of an early start. I think what I might do, we've got bulldozers. I think this seems to be a bit empty, so we're going to put another. We don't need an open hole in here. I think what I did is that space was made by an open hole from this area here, and you can see what I've got here is these guys working. Oh, we got another new vehicle. This is an ammo. It looks a bit like a bus. It can be a little bit of a guessing game when you're actually upgrading vehicles. Let's have a look at buses. Yeah, we've now got 14 and 12. I don't think I'm going to need to use that over here, because as I say, we're not really, at the moment we're just kind of building in these roads here, and we're just building these sections up. I don't know what we've got here. Right, we've now got this built. This is just being layered in, and of course what we can do now is start work on these sections. So to keep these guys busy, these have already been picked up. This has been picked up. This has been picked up. In fact, we're just use all the road crews on this now. As I say, through this period where we're doing bits and pieces, I just want these guys to work on this here. I mean, there's not that much I want to do in this area at the moment. We are working on the sewage connections, so I suddenly thought, well, these guys don't have a lot to do, so we might as well build that in while we're actually going forward. As I say, the focus is very much on this area here. Right, these are now finished. What I'm going to need here is, I'm just going to name you, I'll call it food outgo, and for meat. So we don't need to put in too much in here at the moment. So I'm just going to get a couple of covered holes. Now again, we're going to go for capacity. We've got Russo bolts here. These are 21 kilometers an hour. This is 31 kilometers an hour. And they're roughly the same price sort of thing. So we're going to get a couple of those in here. And I think for what we really need to do is get this built now. Here. Don't need this just at the moment, so we need to get that meat store in. What this is going to do is pick up the meat from these hunting huts and take them out elsewhere. Okay, we've now got people moving in here. We need these guys working on. Okay, we need that. How's the queue here? What I've been trying to do is manage the queue here the best I can, because there's no point having lots and lots of jobs queued up if they're all sat here waiting for vehicles. So the big factor is time, if that makes sense. We got this here. How far out? I mean, part of me says that we need some kind of road structure down here for our new town, because what I want to do is put a new town into here. Actually, I think what we will do is, wow, that fire station there could be a bit of a problem. I think we'll just build that for the moment. And I think we're going to build a road out to there. Yeah, I think if we can create a bit of an H pattern here. In fact, I'm very tempted. The trouble is, if I do that, it's gonna turn all these guys loose. Also the queue up here. Yeah, we do need to sort out our farming here, but at the moment I'd rather have all this lot feeding into here so that we can keep our food supplies going. Food and alcohol, deliver to keep. The distance is short, so. And what that will mean is that we'll start to get some meat in here, and then what we will do is buy a couple of refrigeration trucks here. Capacity, we've got 2.5 tons here. We will get say 3 of those there. Because we can become totally self-sufficient in meat, because the moment economically, yeah, you can see we're importing meat here roughly about 2,000 a month with respect to meat. So if we can kind of remove that from the equation as well. In fact, are we importing any? So we're not importing food, we're not importing alcohol anymore. Last month, no food. Yeah, so if we can become self-sufficient in our capabilities, we'll be okay. So we're getting some meat here. We definitely need this built. I'm going to bump the priority on this. So that, and also on this. Oh, it's not being built at all. Okay, we need to get workers into here. We need this built as well. And we need this built. We can get 2 sets of workers into here. I have brought some more buses over from here. How are we doing worker wise here? Yeah, we're getting plenty of workers into here. How's the over 21s? Yeah, we're building up the over 21s again. We've got a gas station here that needs to be built as well to stop the guys running over that. And of course, what we've got should have now is, where are you? So we got our first snow plows out now running. As I say, I'm building the snow plows. In fact, we got the money for it, so I'm just going to get a couple more snow plows. Your ploughing speed is 10. Your ploughing speed is 35, so we're going to get 3 more of those. I think keep it, I mean, for this side of the map, this is quite important. We've got a 2-horse crane here, which needs to be removed. Right, we're now on the 30th of November. So now we're coming up to the kind of period of time where we're going to need this area here built, please. You should be working on this as a little bit of priority. Okay, so we're just working on this here. So at the moment we've got an average of 300 in each silo. That gives us about just what 900, just over 1,000 tons of crops from this area, and we've also got nothing in there, so in crops and fabric. How much have we got down here? We've got 431 in here. So you can see from the productivity of these fields, there we are, it's just gone. Let's have a look at the fertility now. We're probably gonna have to try and import more, but what we call it, fertilizer. That's 150. And I'm aware that you can't see this. So we got pretty good fertility here. This one's, yeah, I think there's an argument to be made for having bigger fields, to be honest. That's 146, that's 150, that's 150. So the fertility is good over here, because we can't get it any higher unless we use chemical fertilizers. Let's see what the fertility over here is. That's 111, that's 197. These fields aren't particularly very good at the moment. Let me just see, is there any scope for the entrance to the field? Is there, I think, if we, is this a, this is a planned gravel road, but it's not particularly, it's not actually formally built at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another large field here. I know it won't get harvested, but I think if we put a large field there and possibly another one just here, this is going to clip onto this, but I think we can afford to lose a smidge off the corner. Yeah, we've kind of lost about a few tenths of a hectare. That can go there, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to pick up the gravel road here, run you there, and run you, I'm going to run you like that, and then kind of curve you up there and bring you in there. I don't think you actually have any fertilizer delivery. Okay, we're going to need to bring, we got 6.5 tons of fertilizer here. Right, we need to get that into there. Long-term solution is a distribution office there. We won't keep it mud road high priority, and we'll put this guy on it to start with. Do the groundworks, and you are going to be the fertilizer distrib. Okay, what I'm going to do for the short term, we're going to come here, just going to buy a waste truck, total capacity. Got a big steam hauler here, a small steam hauler. They're both exactly the same. Well, that's actually what that is, but I'll buy one of those and bring you in. Anyway, I'm aware that I'm kind of again running out of things to say, so just to finish this section off, I'm going to build that, get that built as well, because we've got 67 over 21s, so we're kind of getting this together. What I'm going to do is a temporary solution. Pick up meat there and send it to there, set it to 60%. It's for that, but anyway, that's because there will be a meat truck around here somewhere. Yeah, we can round up these meat trucks and replace them. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it for the moment. I'll be back again in the once the snow's gone for another update. Okay, welcome back. We are now on the 22nd of February 1918. The snow has just faded away, and at the moment things are still trugging along fairly usefully. One problem I have noticed during the winter is ensuring that I've got a workforce out here. So what I've done is I've planned a road through here to stop the buses coming down round here to pick up from here. I mean, we've still got a bit of a pickup problem here. I mean, ideally I would like to be able to come out of there, but I can't. And the other thing I want to do in here is actually put an end station in as well, so that what that will mean is that our buses can be repaired and, more importantly, refueled without wandering off across the map. Crop wise, we are already out of crops from this farm here. Over here we're still got a little bit of a surplus, which we might be able to steal to put down to here if necessary, but at the same time I would ideally like to make sure that this is going full bore. So what we will do is keep an eye on this just to see that we're going here. You can see the difference here with the actual fertilizer piling up. I don't think we're getting that much fertilizer into here. I'm not exactly sure who's actually picking up the bio waste from here. I don't think you are transferring any fertilizer. I'm not exactly sure who's delivering to here. It does look very much like the I think we may need to sort this out now, because this waste transfer really should be completely dedicated to keeping this forward. At the moment it's staying on top, so maybe that's not quite such a bad thing. Over here we've finally got our in Warstock here. So over here in Warstock, we've finally got our meat production up and running. So we're kind of producing a ton of meat per day, which is more than enough. You can see we're building up a meat resource here. Because I think our previous... So what that will mean is that economically now we're going to stop importing meat. So we've kind of got a certain level of kind of stability here. We've now got this here finished. Yeah, oh, so I've already named this. So what we're going to do is come in here, workshop, waste trucks, capacity. We're going to get, we've got the money for it. We've got 2, 3 of those come into here. And then what we're going to do is pick up fertilizer from here. Once we've got a waste truck here that's running backwards and forwards. I think you can now go to there. That means we can set you up. Yeah, we've got fields with low fertility. I'm not exactly sure. We're getting a little bit of bio waste in here. What are you guys producing? I'm pretty sure you do produce some form of waste. I've seen it, but obviously not. Right, what you're going to do is, oh, actually cancel that. Actually, I'm not kind of exactly tempted. You're going to unload fertilizer there. Go to, you can load fertilizer there. And what we're also going to do, actually reduce you right down to 40%. We're actually going to import fertilizer as well, because I think fertility is going to be important, because if we translate the fertilizer into that, so if we can feed the fertilizer into here, go out, distribute it across our fields, that will make a difference. The one other project I've got started here is this. I want this built so we can define it for bitumen. Overall, the general structure at the moment is to kind of push out with the roads here, which is going to take a little while, because what I need to do is get out here. So we are kind of, so the focus at the moment is just simply on building roads, to try and get this road structure in, so that in the next part we can start thinking about building out here. In fact, this still needs to be built. I would really like to see if we can improve the bulldozer situation here as well. Don't know what we've got in the way of bulldozers. Not a lot. Still just got the steam bulldozer. We will actually scoot over here, because we have had a number of vehicles appear now, which is we're going to use to enhance our. So let's have a look at what we got in the way of bulldozers. You got these Holts. They're 20. just go back over here. Would it be worth... What is a steam bulldozer? So we'll come in here. Right, what I'm going to do is I don't really want to spend all my dollars, but I think investing in some actual bulldozers here would be quite useful. It's going to take forever for them to get here, but at 24 kilometers an hour, we're going to get one. It won't let me buy them. Okay. Right, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to buy them here. The game can be a little bit temperamental when you buy these. 1, 2, 3. Oh, so we'll buy 4. I think we will bring 2 over to here. Actually, we'll bring 1 to here. And then we'll let the game bring the other ones over to here, because this is going to be the more important area. Okay, we're going to put you... I'm not exactly sure why that says it's full. I don't need these traction buses, actually. Now, they're getting very slow and dated. So, I think what we're going to do... It could be the size of the traction buses that are filling up the... Let me just... I think we're going to scrap these. Recover the cost. Bring these out. Yeah, I got a feeling those traction engines build this up here. So the game thinks that it's got above capacity. I think if we got the bulldozers, actually, I'm just going to buy another one. Because they're actually... Well, if we can intercept one that's... Okay, so heavy steam hauler will actually move these to destination, although they're actually slower than the actual steam bulldozer. A Mack Auto AC tractor could be quite useful. In fact, there's an argument to actually build a depot here. Maybe I'll do that, and then we'd have to bring fuel out here as well. I'm actually going to buy... Right, we're going to buy a couple of Mack open holes here. Again, you've got to be very, very careful over which ones can be built. So this one needs 40 tons, 40 tons of steel. So it's the Mack AC series tractor trailer we got to buy. So if we come in here, open all. Yeah, so we're going to get 2 of those. Again, we'll just have to see if we can get them all the way over to here. I think the ability to move the tractor trailers will make a difference. Okay, game. I think what we will do is put 1 in there. And 1 in there for the moment. Get them over to here. And we've got plenty of space in here. And a tractor trailer would be, in fact, what we could do is add one of those halts to here. so that we can get that built. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let the game run on a little bit, because I don't really have much to talk about at the moment. So what I'm going to do is just let the game run, see if we can get those tractors in so that I can allocate them, and then we'll take it from there. In fact, I think what we're most likely going to have to do is consider putting in, in fact, I think I will do it, because this is quite important, and the old street sweepers aren't really going to be hacking it. So I think one thing I will do here is put in I'm going to put technical services in here. Actually, we'll put it. Actually, I want it. Ideally, I would like it to be in range of. I don't want to block that. I think, but what I really would like, if possible, if I put, say for example, if I put you in very close, actually that's the thingy bob, isn't it? Does that connect here? What we will do is demolish you. Actually, I'm going to remove the technical services building for the moment. We're going to demolish this. We're going to put a technical services building in here, and then what I'm going to do is put get that built, and then we'll put a technical services building in here. This will actually provide that, but more importantly, we can use it to keep this section of road clear. And then what I can do then is I'm going to put a large end station. I'm going to put a large end station about there. Once this is finished, and then what that will mean is that the buses that are going out to here, because we need to keep this going at fairly good go. The other problem I've also had out here is with trees. I had the wrong types. I'm pretty sure I had the wrong type of trees here, which the game has a bit of a problem with. So I'm just going to keep putting some trees in here. You can see here we've only got 3,400 tons of trees there. We're working on this. Anyway, guys, I'm going to cut the video again here, and I'll come back for the final update. Okay, welcome back for this final update in this part. And what we've finally done is we've managed to get the excavators over, or bulldozers, whatever you want to call them, over to here. I don't know if I've got a bulldozer in here. I think we're going to move you there. There, we're going to put you. Actually, no, these are dedicated bulldozers, so I'm going to put you into there. So we've now got two bulldozers here, which can work. We've got another one there, and we got this excavator here. Okay, we've got a building that's just burnt down. So we just lost another building in Portsmouth to a random fire. I'm assuming it's a random fire because it says destroyed by fire. So we are now getting a little bit more damage going on over here, which is not particularly helpful. Now if I come back over here, I've got a bit of a problem in the sense, and again it comes down to range, that we are getting a steady workforce in here during the day, and it's a very, very big but, that what's actually happening here is, well, we're actually gonna connect you up with gravel. I know it's gonna take a little while. Come here. This is still being cleared, and I'll say we're going to put a technical office there just to be able to get things going, but we're going to build a end connection here in order to drive the work out there. But the problem we've got is it's the sheer amount of time it takes to get concrete about with the slow moving vehicles. So what I want to do, especially over here, is what I've been doing off camera is actually replacing all the covered holes. So our construction offices now don't have any horse-drawn vehicles in them. I think I've purged them all now. Let me just check. Yeah, we got no. Just check this one. Yeah, so basically now we've got everything on fuel, but if I come to here and just put it within 2000, you see we've still got horse-drawn vehicles here, which is with police and things like that. And what I want to do is effectively purge this stuff away. But at the moment I'm still consuming some of these crops here. Eventually, a lot of these are actually kind of covered wagons which are moving food and stuff like that from here. Let me just see. So what we can do over time is slowly replace these. So what are you carrying? You carry about 3 tons of. See if we can get something a little bit better into here. Covered hole probably is capacity. These carry 3 tons. These carry 3 tons. See, so we got the steam covered holes, and then we got the heavy steam ones here. This is 22. This is 31. And it's carrying half. I think what we're going to do is go to the in-game Russell bolt to get a little bit of extra speed. So we're going to come into here, and then we're going to see you're moving stuff. Whoops. You're moving stuff. Okay. So it's going to be a bit of a long, drawn out process here. Again, these guys are moving fabric and open hole here. So I think we're going to use put the 2 Russell bolts in. We've got the open hole here. Okay, you can move that. So what we got here, and we will buy one of those. Then eventually, once these guys have come in, we'll replace those. The idea is to get this whole area over operating on fuel, because then that will reduce the need to actually distribute the what we call it, the fuel here. So that means we can then get rid of these covered holes as well. So it's been a little bit of a slow process. Right, we've got a horse-drawn excavator here, which we don't need. In fact, it looks like we've got an omnibus and an excavator. And what I've been doing is collecting the vehicles into here and then sending them to the scrapyard. I don't feel the need to. I mean, we are making money, so I'm just scrapping out these here. Just let the game run. And just to show you here now that we're collecting these vehicles up, which are coming into here. Another new vehicle. These are 3 tons Republics. These are NATO vehicles. So that is coming together quite nicely. These guys are delivering. So what we're doing is slowly modernizing the fleet. And if you want to get an overview of what you've got here, is we've got, you can see here, we've got the numbers of vehicles here, which are, so like, for example, we've got this one here, which is our last kind of excavator. Now if I come back to here, we got another group that I would like to replace over time is the fire trucks. I think fire trucks are quite important with respect to keeping things covered, but at the same time, you know, we've got a gas station there. I think what I will do here is we'll purchase a couple of ammos here, take a chance, and we'll scrap out the fire truck. And that will probably also apply to here. Get rid of you. I think it's time to modernize a little bit. So we're just going to say in Eastleigh, I'm going to be quite happy to live with some wagons to begin with, because of course we got to import the fuel. But key vehicles I definitely want to be modernized, like fire trucks, because that actually gives us the fire protection. In fact, let's just have a quick look and see what we've got here. Yeah, we got a couple here that we're kind of go 50-50 on these. And again, we're just going to bring in the fire trucks. Year 9, year 12. Just to get that little extra kind of security going. One thing we did do is we got a whole bulldozer here. I think we will send you there. I think you're going to be more useful there. You can see how big these tractors are. Get you out that way as well. Now, what I should have done is loaded him up onto there, but that's okay. So that is the current situation. Again, we've got some crops still left in here. You see we got 414 tons of crops here. That's partly down to workforce. I think we can probably push the workforce up a little bit more here. We are now accumulating meat in here, and of course we've got a little bit of extra storage here. Now what I want to do is use this to store electro components and stuff like that eventually, but at the moment we got no need for them, except for maybe if I come back over to here, we've got our meat store here. I'm not exactly sure what I'm using it for. Oh no, this is just a small cold store, isn't it? I think we cleared this. No, we still haven't cleared this. What's up with these guys? Then again, these aren't probably the most efficient here. Yeah, might need to modernize these guys as well, but then they don't get used very much, so it's probably not. In fact, let's check my demolition office over here to make sure this is modern. This would be a quick win. Yeah, we got some modern selection of vehicles there, so push you up to maximum just in case anything falls down. Forgotten all about this. This is the fresh water supply to here. Forgotten all about the fact that we're still building that. and I think maybe it's time to kind of add this guy to here, get that built. I'm kind of half considering the fact that we've got, okay, we're getting a little bit more efficient here now. How's the fuel? We're still kind of keeping the fuel filled, so I don't feel a great need to come out and get that, even though we don't have anything out here. How much bitumen are we exporting last month? Yeah, so our two biggest earners, or our three biggest earners, is clothes, bitumen, and fuel, with food behind it, alcohol, meat, a little bit of construction waste, a few boards. So we are going there, and our biggest imports again is probably going to be steel. Of course, we're importing a lot of crops at the moment as well, which is a big thing, but we are turning this into money. We are importing alcohol. That means I've got somebody around here that's going to the border to buy alcohol. Let's check the pub. That's a doctor's office. What I'm on about. There's the pub. I think we can take that off. Yeah, there's no reason for that guy to go to the border to pick up alcohol. Because technically if the alcohol runs out, which it probably won't, but if it does, let me just check to make sure that there's no other pubs in this area. Buildings, pubs. Okay, we've got two pubs here. Okay, we got one here that's got no alcohol in it at all. Okay, that's a bit of a fail, isn't it? Yeah. So we've also got a little bit of a waste problem here, but you should be in range of there. Okay. Anyway, I think this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. What I will do is play on to the start of the next harvest. Hopefully get this kind of pick up through finished. Oh, it's now finished. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll set this up for the next harvest, and then we'll be back when the next harvest comes in, because I think the harvesting is going to be pretty important going forward. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.